In one infamous moment, Chris Duty stole the spotlight at the chef's table in 2023. We were doing the executive roundtable and he blurted out, "Do me a favor, just cook the dough right." You know, I figured out recently that I've eaten around 900 piatas in my time with Piata, and I've had about 450 amazing ones. 50% have been outstanding. Seems not great, yeah? Get a 50 on Inigo, sure, you're getting a call. Well, the best piatas I've ever had were when I've eaten them in the restaurant. While I do realize that the foil can reintroduce some steam back into them, it's the 3 sins that get us every time. The 3 sins of piata making: not enough toast on the dough, too little oil, not enough seasoning. First, the toast. I'm not sure why this is actually an issue, but we seem to want to get people to fly through the stone station. And I get it. When they're getting a salad, bowl them and move it down, right? The pastas, we need a hot pan. You know the one from the bottom that we never use because it might get too hot? Hint: leaving it on the burner forever makes it too hot. We toast the dough on both sides for a few reasons. Number 1, you want to heat the dough and wake up the garlic flavors in the bread and help the experience by helping it to fold easier. Number 2, we want to give it color and crispy edges, something that will have a bit of cracker crunch and provide tactile texture as they're eating the piata. And number 3, this is the most important step in making an amazing piata. The toast sets up the rest of the experience and will make an average piata into an exceptional one. Work with your stone person to have them comfortable talking to the guest long enough so that that dough can toast. Bottom line is, they must be comfortable holding that guest up for the entire time that that dough needs to get cooked, to let the dough toast and get the deliciousness that it deserves. Oiling the dough. The reason we do this is to provide flavor to enhance the dough, provide a sealant between the dough and the wetter ingredients, and to help with flexibility after the dough is crisped. We like the crispy, but we also want to be able to fold it. Be the conscientious painter of the dough. Oil it completely all the way around and on the edges. And then finally, season the piata. I know that a few guests will actually have a coronary when they look at the perceived amount of salt and pepper you put on the doughs per spec, but it actually needs it. I always think of my good friend Jorge Martinez as he does his show on the doughs by holding the piata seasoning shaker up high with his pinky out, seasoning it to perfection. It is quite a sight to behold. And the reason is, if you look at some of the base ingredients in the table, they don't necessarily have a lot of seasoning on them. Lettuce, arugula, sweetie peppers, artichokes, they aren't seasoned. I would recommend making 2 piatas for your team, one without enough salt and pepper and one perfectly seasoned. The difference is staggering. Time is the enemy of a well-toasted piata dough. The development and caramelization of the dough. If you were to cook a steak over low heat in a pan, it would have a lot less flavor than if you used high heat and made crispy bits of exterior. This is because of the Maillard reaction, and it's the key to unlocking the flavor. As the dough thoroughly heats and the garlic flavors are awakened in the dough, and it takes on a deeper flavor profile than at room temperature. And this is Chef Matt for 3 Minute Thursdays. We'll see you next week.